What I know about Pilates is roughly a big zero. Well, I know that Joseph Pilates was a German exercise guru who emigrated to the US and started a whole program of training. And a lot of that involves resistance training. What do we mean by that? Pushing against some sort of force, like that. Well, that is a Pilates ring. Why am I talking about it? Because it came with a warning when it was purchased. It came with this label. Well, not exactly this label, because this is a bit bigger than the one that came on the ring, but it warns that there are chemicals present, lead and phthalates, known to the state of California to cause cancer or reproductive problems. Whoa, that scares a lot of people. What's going on here? Let's go back for a moment to 1980. There was a problem with water in California at that time, a lot of fertilizer, nitrates running off and polluting the water. And also the new computer industry was releasing all kinds of solvents into the water from Silicon Valley. And California decided to do something about it. And the public was asked to vote on what was called Proposition 65. And this would give the law some arms in order to force companies to prevent the release of toxic substances into water systems. And it became a real hot potato because, of course, industry opposed this, but the public was in favor of it. And the Hollywood community got behind this. There was actually a clean water caravan that was organized by Jane Fonda, and Tyne Daly was in there, Victoria Principal, and even Michael J. Fox, even though he was a Canadian. And they had this bus tour around California to popularize the passage of this law. And eventually it worked, it was passed and became law. And that was a good thing because it did reduce the pollution from industry. But also part and parcel of this law was that any substance that was, quote, known to the state of California to be a carcinogen or a reproductive toxin had to have a label on it. So, for example, if you had some kind of a hose in a vacuum cleaner that had lead solder in it, then you'd need a label suggesting that this was potentially toxic. So what is going on here with this, the Pilates ring? Why does it require this label? This ring is coated with a plastic. And that plastic is polyvinyl chloride. Polyvinyl chloride at one time used to be stabilized with lead because when PVC degrades, it releases hydrochloric acid, and if that is not absorbed by some stabilizer, it will cause further degradation of the plastic. So lead was used. But once lead was seen to be a toxic material, it was eliminated from PVC. However, just to be on the safe side, that label is still on there. Now the phthalates, these are chemicals that make PVC soft and pliable. And there undoubtedly are some phthalates in that PVC. And this has been shown to be associated with reproductive problems in animals. But of course, it's always a question of dose. This is the cornerstone of toxicology. Only the dose makes the poison. And that there are large safety standards built into the amounts of toxic materials that are allowed to be included in consumer items. But California says, look, the public has a right to know. So if anything is there that even in an animal in some exorbitantly large dose caused a problem, the public should know. And this has, of course, caused a lot of anxiety because people see these warnings all over the place. Are we to worry about using a Pilates ring because it might have a trace amount of lead or phthalates in there? I don't think so. Because those risks that are referred to in that warning are due to lifetime exposure. And nobody is going to be chewing on a ring, a Pilates ring, over a lifetime. So our exposure, I think, would be very, very little. So I would not panic about using a Pilates ring or any other such exercise item because of that Proposition 65 warning. Why do companies put it on there even when it is not sold in California? Because it would be too expensive to make labels specifically for California. And also they put on these labels all the time in order to prevent profiteering lawyers from going after companies who they claim are in violation of Proposition 65. So there is your interesting story, and I don't worry about exercising with Pilates ring. Maybe I'll even take up Pilates. First I have to find out what it really is, but I'm not really worried about the Proposition 65 warning, but neither am I going to be chewing on that Pilates ring. And that is our Pilates story.